I also extend a heartfelt welcome to all the participants who have joined the program. And though our guest of honor needs no introduction, I'll just give a brief about her. Professor Neelu Sood, she's from Department of Botany, Kurukshetra, University Kurukshetra. She has supervised about 25 minor projects and 2 major research projects. She has guided 4 PhD students, and she has 26 publications and 1 patent to her credit. She has also visited various countries for academics like France, Pakistan, Germany, Switzerland, Australia, and Bangladesh, and is referee for 2 international journals. She is also a member of various academic bodies around the country. I welcome you, ma'am. I request you, ma'am, to please address the participants. Neelu Sood, ma'am. I welcome you, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Good. A very good morning to all of you. And I thank management of the Govind Singh Khalsa College for Pharmacy, Yamuna for inviting me on this very strong and platform to put forth my views and share. You see what is happening around the country from various speakers and others. And I always appreciate Guru Gobind Singh Khalsa College for taking initiatives into the areas which most of the well-established universities or institutes, they sometimes ignore. And they rather take leaps into the areas whereby we can bring about drastic change in the societal work. And they have co-partnered with Lovely Professional University, which is again one of the leading university in the country. So I feel honored to be with you all. I thank Principal Kumar Gaurav and Chief Guest Professor Saraf and the guest of honors and the eminent speakers, and the young team of coordinators who always make such initiatives a great success. And I wish that they achieve great in their life and they always fulfill their aim and motto of serving the students and the country at large. Now, because I have been asked to deliberate on the topic of women empowerment, so it is not an issue, I must tell you today. It is a point of concern rather that why we ignore the 50% of the world population. We are even if not by choice, why they are being kept out of the mainstream. And with the result, there is every country, whether it is developing or developed, they are incurring a lot of loss in their economy. So I begin with one quote that women, they are not born strong, but they are groomed to be by the hardships they face in their lives. So all the young babies, whether it is a boy baby or a girl baby, they are born so timid when they come to this world. Then they are nurtured equally by their mothers. But later on, the challenges become so that the girl and later on a woman, she has to face number of additional barriers. Even if it is, even if we are talking of academics or profession or even family. So she has to go through more of challenges, more of barriers, and with the result, only the few percentage of the women who are able to gather support from their families or from the society, they are able to project and we say they are successful and they are empowered. But other percentage which is left behind, they, I don't say they never tried, but sometimes due to lack of support or due to other, you see, barriers or societal pressures, they cannot come up to the level that they become positive contributors in the upliftment of our economy of the country. And because today I just want to, you see, trigger in your mind certain you see points which must result into some point of you can say change, or some change in our thinking pattern, so that we are able to, you see, reframe or rebalance the imbalance which is now visible in our society. So I just would like to tell you that there are so many areas where we can talk of women empowerment. It may be for a housewife, she might be given certain rights, or beyond the scope of her duties, she should be given some liberty to prove herself. So I'm not touching that. Then even in a school, when a girl has to struggle, if it is a girl, let's say, coming from a village, going by cycle or by other, you see, public transport, and she faces so many challenges of harassment on way to reach to her school. And sometimes some of the girl students, they just leave their education just on for this reason. So I'm not touching on those issues which are already much into say, and we all read about and we know a bit about it. I'm going to focus more of my point by taking into consideration the women patent holders, because this is one, you can say, top cream of the women who are successfully placed into careers, whether into academic or into industrial, you can say, assignment. But how they are, you see, rated, because if they have reached the, or if they have entered into a career, then we should call them empowered. But why still I am debating on this point too, that despite having achieved the milestone of academics and even the profession, they are still much below. Now, this is very alarming data, which I'm going to read out for you. So if we look into the databases which reflect the percentage of the women inventors in 1980, female individual patent holders, that is only women, uh, it is 1.4%. And you see, rest 98.6% is in the credit of males. And then all female team, the data is still worst, 0.06%, even much less than 1% in the year 1980. And you must be saying why I have selected 1980, because let's say that is the remote uh, baseline for us, because then there were not much of the women patent holders. So that is being proved through this data too. But later on in the 2020s, the data has raised up to 3.9% for female individuals. So 1.4 to 4% yearly. So that means in so many, let's say in a gap of 40 years, simply 3% rise in the data. So that too is again, you see, dissuading. We cannot say that we are achieving, or we are, if even if the girls or women, they have reached their academics or their professions, they are very much successful as at par with their male counterparts. Still, they are much behind. And lot of, you see, international agencies, they are involved into collecting this data, analyzing, and then analyzing the reasons why this wide gender gap is existing in such areas. Then certain points they have been highlighted. One is women, they are less into STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So they choose less of these subjects, and these are the challenging subjects of, or academic subjects, which can put them into the category of inventors. So that could be one reason. But other reason is that the women, even if they are very well aware, they have certain, you see, natural responsibilities. The potential age where male supersede them, she is by nature, she is given the additional responsibility of being a mother. She has to take care of her children. So sometimes she does not want to put her family into any, you can say, trouble, or she doesn't want to ignore them. She wants to give them her 100%. That's why she starts ignoring her career. And when after you can say a gap, she rejoins, then it is a stigma on her, rather, that she is over ambitious, that she is leaving her small kid, or they will say, अब ये क्या कर लेगी, दो बच्चों की माँ है, उन्हें संभाल ले. These are the common, you see, even we have heard such, you see, words from sometimes whispered. They, I mean, these are whispered. I won't say heard. Heard होने पे तो हम उस पे थोड़ा सा अपना point रख देते हैं. But we, I mean, such kind of whispering goes on. And again, through a very authentic source data, I will tell you that in UK, as on date, there are 93% top in the top inventors. They are 93% males versus 7% female. Or US में 93.06 and 6.04%. See, this is the status in very well advanced countries, where we say that women are no less than males, and still see such a big gap of big gender gap in inventions. But one country, interestingly, you will be surprised, the country which I'm going to name now is who is on top in case of female inventors or female patent holders. That is Korea. Very small country. If you see the map, world map, it is a dot. India is much bigger than Korea. There the data is 82% and 18%. 18% females versus 82% males. And then you see, when the whole world, as I told you, lot many agencies, they are working in such areas, WIPO, USPTO, and other women organizations and other social organizations, NGOs, etc. Then you see the reasons they were found, that how come that women in Korea, they are able to patent, they able to file more number of patents, and they are proving successful. Then it was found that their rate of surrogacy is more, that mothers, they are getting their kids raised through surrogacy. I mean, they find the natural, you see, process of bearing children. So they get it done by some borrowed uterus, so that she can have her baby on time. Or you see, they get their eggs frozen, and they go for late surrogacy, late you can say pregnancy, and and many other, you see, or adoption. Even that was the one reason. So, but in other countries where you see either the surrogacy laws are strict, or people, they have social stigma against surrogacy, then women, they have no choice but to surrender कि हाँ ठीक है चलो बच्चे तो मेरे को अपने पैदा करने हैं because I've got married. That is essential too. And another, you see, point which simultaneously I want to put forth, that it is not that word is not alarmed. Already, you see, so many organizations, as I told you, they are trying to balance this gender inequality, and there is one 2030 agenda, 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Here, you see, in this agenda, it was highlighted that because if we will know, if we keep on ignoring the 50%, nearly 50% world population of females in IP area, in intellectual property area, then you see we cannot you see claim, we cannot aspire to go into sustainable development, because every brain has some value and it should contribute in national economy. Then you see WIPO. WIPO is World Intellectual Property or Organization in Geneva. So they are compiling a lot of data in gender data as well as reasons, so that those reasons, they can be looked into, they can be repaired if needed or modified, so that the overall you see progress is seen in the global data, or improvement comes in such variant data which presently exists. Then in IP data, they are you see now focusing on gender as a key performance indicator for policies, because you must have seen sometimes when like in India, I can tell, there was a time when in armed forces no women could go, and then they gave them entry, and now they can you see stay for as long. Pehle short service mission, then now they can even go for the full term jobs. So this is how the change is coming. I don't say that we should tilt the balance upside down and अब जैसे women नीचे या फिर males down उसमें आ जाएं, or women should lead. That should never be the approach, because then it will not be solving the problem, but rather it will be spilling the problem all over, and then it will be very grave and difficult situation. The situation should be that we should look into the points, like I mentioned, STEM. So if we can encourage the brilliant girls who can take up STEM, or STEM में भी life sciences में ज़्यादा girls आती हैं, but engineering and mathematics में कम आ रही हैं. And later on, the data also projects that even if the women, जो सारा मैंने जो percentage 1%, 4%, 7%, जो भी बात मैंने पीछे relative data की, उसमें more of women from academia, they were filing patents than the women coming from the industry background. और ये भी alarming है, क्योंकि STEM में अगर women नहीं जाएंगी तो more of the industry is based on engineering, and then there will be less of the contribution coming from the women's side. So that has also to be taken care of, so that we can have a very balanced society. Mind you, I'm not talking of any gender inequality. Nowhere I use this term, because that is wrong. Inequality नहीं है. जब हमारी mother जो एक माँ है, मोस्टली बारिंग फ्यू केसेस या कुछ एरिया स्पेसिफिक हो सकता है, आई एम इग्नोरिंग दैट, बट एवरी मदर विल इक्वली फीड द बॉय एंड द गर्ल, and she will raise them her you see loving kids, and she would love them to see progressing. Then you see this Another contribution, it comes from the you see the word gender name dictionary. This might be a new information for some of the students. So I again rename it is word gender name dictionary, WGND. So this is a document which is in progress, in which nearly the data from 182 countries, which approximately includes 6.2 million names, will quickly give the information. अब क्या है, अगर आप इंडियन पेटेंट साइट पे भी जाओ, you cannot segregate the data how many women file patent in the year 2021. So such filters, they are not there. So that's why if such you see data will not be available, then problems cannot be identified and they cannot be you see taken care of. So WGND is a great initiative in that way, and USPTO, they are also taking equal measures that more of the women should come forward with their data, and they should try to overcome all the stigma. And here it is very interesting information that I have read, because for the past you can say 25 years, this area is my pet area, and I keep keep on reading. I've done a lot of reading in this area, and I came across when in the 18th century in US, a woman will invent something, then she will tell her brother or husband or father to, you see, go and file the patent in their name, so that she does not have to go to the patent office. So that was the time when they were or they were not allowed to go to patent office, and instead even if she has invented something. So first women patent holder in US was Mary Dixon, who invented the silk woven hat for the you see first lady of the country, and then she was rather promoted by that lady to go for filing patent. And even you see even if we rely all the data and the progress which we have seen in the acceleration from 0.01% to some 6-7%, if the progression goes like at this pace, then the prediction is we will have 50-50% share of the patent holders, or we can say equal participation of women inventors. And this will, the year you will be shocked to know, 2080, 2080. So that is, you see, you can imagine, at least I won't be there to see that wonderful day. And it is too far away to imagine. So with this little bit information, I want to convey to the whole group of the participants that please come forward with, and do not make it an itching point, okay, male, female, male, female. It is not like that, or we should not put the barriers between, but we should make mixed teams whereby very, you see, professionally and intelligently, we can also have the claim for the intellect which we share, and for the benefit of the society. If some inventions they are done, then they also benefit and enrich our country in the years to come. So with this, I again thank the you see organizers for such a wonderful beginning of my day, giving me such a you see nice audience. So I wish and pray that all your future programs as well as this running program meets with grand success, and you are able to cater to the needs of society by you see spinning these young brains. So thank you very much, the whole team, my seniors who have joined. Sorry during the my lecture, I could not go through the participant list, but I convey my thanks to one and all. And thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for telling about the various facts and figures and roles and responsibilities and basically the challenges the women are facing. Because we also want to grow, but the thing is that I got from you that when we want to grow, the people say that we are over ambitious. This is a very
Yes.
big thing for us. So thank
Yes.
you very much. Ma'am, as a token of respect, we would like to present a certificate to you. So please, ma'am, accept it. It will be on the screen.
Thank you. Thank you and blessings.
This is for you, ma'am. Accept it, please, ma'am.
Thank you, Ji. It's very pretty and nice. Very good. Thank you, Ji.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Now moving on towards the first session of the day. I'm introducing you the one of the eminent speaker, that is Dr. Poonam Piplani. She is presently working as professor of pharmaceutical chemistry at the University Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Punjab University, Chandigarh. And her main areas of research include computer-aided drug design and development of new chemical entities of medical interest. Professor Piplani has a teaching and research experience of about 27 years, and she was awarded the Commonwealth Academic Staff Fellowship in 2005 by British Council at the University of Strathclyde, Glasgow, UK, and worked on the development of some anti-leishmanial agents. She has delivered several invited talks and also is active member of various regulatory bodies and has over about 58 research papers and review articles in journals of international and national repute to her credit. She has produced about 7 PhDs and 29 M.Pharm students. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I request
Thank you. Yeah. First of all, a big thumbs up for women empowerment. So it's our day today and we are all energetic.
Yes, ma'am.
It was really a very warm good morning to everyone. And first of all, I want to congratulate the organizers for giving me an opportunity to adorn this pedestal. And the theme of the program, it's really picked up very nicely and apt in today's scenario. And I fully agree with what Dr. Neelu has told, she has really very nicely given the statistics and everything. Thank you, ma'am, for addressing the audience. So before I start with my talk, I would also like to share my views on this topic, women empowerment and gender justice. So, like this is a women empowerment, as we all know, is a very debatable and a sensitive issue, not only in India, but around the globe also. And this has opinionated views from everyone. It has a lot of support globally, but also many hindrances are there. So I would just like to share that what all is being done and previously how the women were treated. Now, if you hear the independent women's voice, they and help to the women to ensure that their voices are heard. This has given rise to situations like Me Too campaign, etc. Even many NGOs are coming forward to safeguard against the women's emotional abuse. Government of India, in the present scenario, they are also enacting various rules and regulations within the constitutional framework to improve female representation in different professions, because they are not, it's not that neglect and that derogation has gone now. They are on an equal footing. As such, not only IIMs but also many graduate institutions and professional institutions, and as well as job opportunities in almost all type of the male dominated professions like Navy, Air Force, and they have started giving higher weightage to the female candidates for gender diversity. So, and the other element which is in the theme is the gender equality. This is something which we have strived for a long time, but in terms of education, in terms of your roles, but the times have changed tremendously now, and much more needs to be done. Nowadays, we see that the literacy rate of the women has gone up. At one time, the girls were supposed to do household work and not go to school. The times have changed tremendously, and now women and men, they work on an equal footing in all kinds of jobs, and they have equal rights for proper education. ऐसा नहीं है कि women are not, as it might be there in the remote areas, but it's this menace is really being uprooted on by NGOs, by government, by everyone. And there are also many social reforms which have empowered the which have empowered women. In while in India, there are long illegalized derogatory practices like sati, child marriage, and female feticide. These have all been eradicated now, especially in the modern scenario, and recent reforms are being taken up to uplift the status of women in the society, and these reforms are really laudable and applause worthy. And even previously, we know that till today in South, many women are not allowed to enter the temples. And if they have a menstrual cycle, they are treated as untouchables. This is really ridiculous. These elements have to be eradicated. So these social reforms are being uplifted now. Talking about, if you see the Middle Eastern countries, even they have given more freedom to the women. They are widely Middle Eastern countries. They are really known for the oppressive laws for women in the and the parda system which exists there, which bars the women from showing their faces. This has also come a long way, and reforms are being taken up. Like Saudi Arabia in 2018, they lifted this ban and allowed the women to drive. Even the women are getting political recognition now. We all are aware of these. Then there is female representation in different professions. They participate. Not previously, they used to go only in medicine and teaching, but now they are entrepreneurs, corporate offices, industries, everywhere a woman is leading, and optimal number of females, they are seen on the panels. Coming to the emotional abuse for women, there is previously the continuous harassment in the form of nasty comments, objectification, and oppression. These are all a cause due to which women are not able to achieve their potential in the society. There is a constant scrutiny by the people how they should dress, how they should walk, and how they should walk. Why? Why this difference and discrimination for women? But because the Eastern countries, especially, they recognize only male guardianship. And this is not acceptable now. That is why everybody is coming forward. This program on this theme will also open so many eyes. And I would say the message of this theme of this program, it might just, give jerks to people, and they might come out of their cocoons and really do some reforms. So, in a nutshell, I would say that a world full of empowered women isn't the one where men are marginalized, but it's a world where everyone lives. According to Michelle Obama, no country can ever truly flourish if it stifles the potential of women, because it will deprive itself of the contribution of half its citizen. According to Margaret Thatcher, if you want something, if you want something said, listen to me carefully. If you want, the men should not feel offended. If you want something said, ask a man. And if you want something done, you ask a women. वो सिर्फ बातें नहीं करती, women करके दिखाती हैं, you know. And a very beautiful line which I came across by Minaret, that although life, all through life, there were distinction, toilets for men, toilets for women, clothes for men, clothes for women. But have you ever thought that the end of the day, the graves are identical for both? So, you know, this is a very sensitive issue, and I really congratulate the organizers for opting such a theme which can really jerk our society. Okay, that was about the theme which I just wanted to share my views. And now it's, I would like to just share my screen for the topic which I'm, just a minute. I would like to apprise the audience or share my views on a, is my slide visible? Is it visible, please?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
I'll just put it on the, um, I'll just do the slideshow. Yeah. Just a minute. Side. Just a minute, please. So my topic, which I have picked up, is a very common one. It is just, there's some problem in the slide a little bit. Just, so the topic is, which I've taken up, is a very common topic, Alzheimer's disease towards a new dawn. This is a very common topic, you know, and everybody is doing research on this topic also. But this is everyday problem which most of us are suffering, you know. And what's wrong? Just a minute. Yeah. So what exactly is Alzheimer's disease? This is Alzheimer's disease is an irreversible progressive brain disease which destroys your memory and the thinking skills. Dementia is there, cognition decline is there, you are not able to recognize people, and your familiar surroundings are not familiar to you, thinking skills are declined. So this was first described by a German psychiatrist and a pathologist, Alois Alzheimer, and the disease has been named after him. It is a neurodegenerative disorder. Although the risk of developing this Alzheimer disease is increases with age, in most of the people with Alzheimer's disease, symptoms first appear after the age of 65. It's not a hard and fast rule, but this is the common thing. Usually it appears after the age of 65 because it's not a part of normal aging. What is the impact of Alzheimer's disease? Once upon a time, it was considered as a rare disorder, but now it is seen as a major public health problem, which is affecting millions and thousands of older people and their families. At the time when the elderly need care, they want to live their life when they are free from the responsibilities. At that time, they lose their memory and thinking skills. So the family support is the main at that time. And if you talk about the statistics, This is the most common cause of dementia among the elderly. Scientists estimate that around 4.5 million people, they are suffering from this disease, and every 5 years, age group beyond 65, the percentage of people with Alzheimer doubles. And it is speculated that by 2015, 13.2 million older Americans are expected to have Alzheimer's disease. This is the data from America. And if no preventive treatments are available, it's predicted that it will affect 1 in 85 people globally by 250. But this is less prevalent, and early onset of Alzheimer can occur much earlier also. It's not a 65 is a hardcore rule, but it's the common statistics which has been taken. Globally, if you see, somewhere in the world, someone develops Alzheimer's every 7 seconds. This is its frequency. If you talk about the signs and symptoms of this disease, the symptoms are psychological, are more, physical symptoms are less. First of all, the patient loses his memory. He finds a difficulty in concentrating things. He cannot understand words, what the other people are speaking. Whatever he is talking, he or she, they cannot complete their sentences. They are at paucity of words. They cannot find right words in their communication. And even if they are at the familiar places, suddenly they will feel that they are lost. They don't know where they are. They are always restless. They remain depressed. Happiness is miles away. Aggression भी show करते, they are agitated, anxiety, they distrust others, they distrust even their family members, withdrawal, disinterest, hostility, loss of inhibitions, etc. This is how it affects them mentally. But there are physical symptoms also. They have problems with their movement or coordination. Muscle stiffness is there. Then when they are walking, they will drag their feet. आपको एकदम पता चल जाएगा something is wrong with this person. Then they are not able to sleep properly. Sometimes they will go on sleeping. Sometimes they will not be able to sleep. Insomnia or change in sleep patterns. There will be a reduction in their ward. Incontinence. They will not be able to evacuate their bladder very frequently. Then they can also have seizures or twitching of the muscles. Now, after the symptoms, what causes the Alzheimer's disease? As I told you, age is the major risk factor. Then family history of having Alzheimer's disease is another risk factor. Quite possible somebody in the family might have that, and the other elderly person. This can be one of the reasons. Scientists are not able to exactly find out the cause of the disease because of research is still going on and it will be done. Then there is brain cell death. The neurons die. The main cause of this brain cell death, it may be the accumulation of the protein amyloid, or there can be dysfunctioning. Acetylcholine levels in the brain, they go down. Cholinergic neurons are disrupted. There is accumulation of protein amyloid. And once a brain cell dies or the neurons, they are not regenerated. So this Alzheimer disease causes a great of the brain function. If you talk about the neurons in the human brain, we can see this is the structure of a neuron, nothing dendrites, the axon in the synapse, the electrical impulses are conducted for the message transferred. To stay healthy, the neurons, they must communicate with each other. They could carry out the metabolism and repair themselves. And in Alzheimer's disease, all these essential jobs are disturbed. Can somebody please switch off their mic? Somebody is talking. I cannot. Please. Then in the brain damages, compare the brain of a normal healthy individual and an Alzheimer person. Alzheimer disease leads to cell death and tissue loss throughout the brain. As the disease progresses, the brain shrinks dramatically and it affects nearly all its functions. This is the brain without the disease, a healthy brain, and this is what the brain with advanced Alzheimer's disease. Can you see the comparison? How there is shrinkage in the size of the brain. The outside, the light one is the normal brain, and this is the shrunken brain of the Alzheimer patient. So, जब वो brain shrink हो गया, obviously the capabilities and the faculties of the brain, they decline. This is a slide of a crosswise slide through the middle of the brain between the ears. This is the healthy brain versus the advanced Alzheimer's brain. So here also we can see massive cell loss changes the whole brain. The cortex in the healthy, this is the cortex A, you can see the cortex shrivels up. It damages the areas which are involved in thinking, and it damages the areas which are involved in thinking, planning, and remembering. That is why the patient behaves like that. Then there is shrinkage, especially severe in the hippocampus. This is the hippocampus area. You can see there is shrinkage in the Alzheimer patient. Okay, and this area, it plays a key role in the formation of new memories. Then ventricles, fluid-filled spaces within the brain, they grow larger in case of the Alzheimer patient. The brain is affected so much, obviously the individual cannot behave normally. Then talking about the pathophysiology, what is the scientific background? What are the hallmarks of the Alzheimer disease? I shared also that the brains of the people with Alzheimer disease, they have an abundance of two abnormal structures, the amyloid beta plaques and the this neurofibrillary tangles in the Alzheimer disease. So these beta amyloid plaques, they are dense deposits of the protein and the cellular material that accumulate outside and around the nerve cells. Then the neurofibrillary, this is the plaque, and these are the tangles, also called as NFTs. These are twisted fibers which build up inside the nerve cell. Now has been imputed, this amyloid beta protein has been imputed to the cleavage of the amyloid precursor protein by two enzymes, beta secretase base and gamma secretase, which produces two major residues. Amyloid beta 40, which terminates at the 40th residues of the APP, and amyloid beta 42, concluding at the 42nd residue of the precursor APP. I will not go into the details, but just I'm sharing this so that you know that the research has revealed that in spite of the similar structure of amyloid beta 40 and 42, amyloid beta 42 is majorly inculpated in the aggregation of the amyloid beta proteins, which aggregate to form the plaques. Hence, they play a significant role in cognitive decline. The species of amyloid beta which are released, they are monomeric in nature, but they agglomerate or get together to form clusters of dimeric, trimeric, and oligomeric forms, which ultimately congregate and lead to the generation of amyloid plaques. Now you can see this beta amyloid plaques, as I told you, these are formed from the amyloid precursor protein. Here we can see this is the APP molecule. So majority of the amyloid plaques, as I told you, consists of 40 and 42 amino acid peptides known as amyloid beta, and these are generated proteolytically by the breakage of the proteins from a larger APP. APP is cut down by beta secretases and gamma secretases proteolytically by the sequential action. Okay, and the 42 amino acid form has been implicated as one of the factors that incites neurodegeneration in Alzheimer's disease. So you can see these are the cut, and these beta amyloid proteins, they uh, get together to form the plaques, and these clumps, they disrupt the work of the neurons. This affects the hippocampus and the other areas of the cerebral cortex, and these were the plaques. And how the tangles are formed, you can see this is a healthy neurons, or neurons ke andar we have, and these microtubules are stabilized by the tau proteins or the tau molecules. These threads which are coming are the tau proteins which are stabilizing the microtubules. So what happens in the diseased neurons, that the microtubule, the tau proteins, they get hyperphosphorylated, and they are the tau protein, the microtubules, they disintegrate. The tau proteins get, this is the main mechanism. The tau proteins, they get hyperphosphorylated, causing destruction of the bond with the microtubules, which results in the destruction of neuronal transport and communication, which ultimately leads to cell death, and there is formation of neurofibrillary tangles. ये micro, you can see, ये जब hyperphosphorylate हो गई, तो diseased neurons में disintegrate हो गए microtubules, they are disintegrating, they collect together, and these are the tangles, they clump together. These are the tau proteins which clump together to form the neurofibrillary tangles. Now scientists can see this is the healthy cells and these are the Alzheimer's cells. They can see the terrible effect of the Alzheimer's disease when they look at the brain tissues under the microscope. It has, Alzheimer tissue has got fewer nerve cells and synapses than a healthy brain. The plaques, these are the, as I told you, these are the plaques, and they are abnormal clusters of the protein fragments. They build up between the nerve cells. You can see, and the dead and the dead and the dying nerve cells, they contain the tangles which are made up of the twisted strands of the another proteins. The scientists, they are not absolutely sure what causes cell death and tissue loss in the Alzheimer's brain, but plaques and tangles, they are the primary suspects. So that was little bit about cholinergic dysfunctioning, then the plaque formation and the neurofibrillary tangles. Regarding the pharmacotherapy, no hard and fast foolproof treatment is there for symptomatic therapy. Usually acetylcholinesterase inhibitors are used, the drugs which inhibit the enzyme acetylcholinesterase. Then there is disease modifying therapy, means इनको हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं when advanced stage हो जाती है. You need a disease modifying therapy using beta secretase inhibitors, gamma modulators or inhibitor, antifibrillization agents and immunotherapy. I won't go into the details, just brushing up, because a number of novel targets are being explored in search for an appropriate drug molecule which can cure Alzheimer's. They can be acetylcholinesterase, butyrylcholinesterase, PPARs, peroxisome proliferate activated receptors, protein phosphatase, then DYRKIA, dual specificity tyrosine phosphorylase, regulatory kinase, caspase enzymes, leptins, and many more, to name a few. Then What are the therapeutics of the different targets in Alzheimer's disease? As I told you, acetylcholinesterase inhibitors. Alzheimer's disease में तो आपने acetylcholine के levels they are decreased. So acetylcholinesterase enzyme जो है, this hydrolyzes acetylcholine. So it means the presence of the hydrolysis will decrease the level of acetylcholine. So you need drugs as acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, which will decrease the level of, which will inhibit the hydrolysis of acetylcholinesterase. And तो उससे क्या होगा, जब इसकी इनहिबिशन हो जाएगी, levels of acetylcholine will increase. Similarly, butyrylcholinesterase is a sister enzyme. This also decreases the acetylcholine. And then you have butyrylcholinesterase inhibitors. As I told you, PPARs, they enhance the peroxisome proliferator activated receptors. They enhance the mitochondrial functions. तो इनके हम pro use करेंगे agents. PPR agonists are useful. Then PPA2A agonists. Alzheimer disease patient में PP2A के levels are decreased. They decrease the tau hyperphosphorylation. So PP2A agonists are favorable in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease. Then amyloid beta, formation of senile plaques, gamma and beta secretase inhibitors can be used. If there are tau protein ke liye, formation of neurofibrillary tangles, DYRKI inhibitors and leptin signaling agents can be used where attenuation of, because leptin causes attenuation of hyperphosphorylation. This is a long concept. If you take up the therapeutics, just to name a few, I have given you this chart. Now coming to the cholinergic hypothesis, which is the basis of the acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, cholinergic transmission, it plays a major role in cognitive function. Acetylcholine is an important neurotransmitter in the brain, as I told you, and cholinergic neurons in the ventral brain, they get depleted in the disease, in the Alzheimer's disease or cognitive decline or dementia. This lowers the cholinergic function in the neocortex and the hippocampus and leads to decline cognitive functions. So as I told you, acetylcholinesterase levels by the use of cholinesterase inhibitors, hydrolysis of this leads to the enhancement of cholinergic neurotransmission. Just a minute. So cholinesterase inhibitors, they inhibit the degradation of acetylcholinesterase into acetate and choline, thus making it available here. You can see acetylcholinesterase, acetylcholine को इसको hydrolyze करेगी to give you choline. So inhibitor will act on this, and as a result, acetylcholine levels will not be depleted and they will be available at the postsynaptic receptor site and will facilitate the cholinergic transmission. So as acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, I'm just naming a few drugs of the various categories. Acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, they can be reversible, pseudo-reversible, irreversible inhibitors. The 4 FDA approved acetylcholinesterase inhibitors are tacarine, rivastigmine, donepezil, also trade name is Aricept, galantamine, but these are accompanied by several side effects. Tacarine is accompanied by hepatotoxicity, impaired liver function, donepezil, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, galantamine also, all these have weight loss, vomiting, and these are the side effects which accompany these drugs. That is why research is continuously going on these topics. Then physostigmine and fencerine are the other drugs which are pseudo-irreversible acetylcholinesterase inhibitors. Now these acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, they act on the enzyme acetylcholinesterase, which has two sites where the drug molecule will act, the catalytic and the peripheral binding site. You can design catalytic site acting drugs or peripheral binding agents, or you can have dual binding site inhibitors. Dual binding site inhibitors, they bind to, so this is the, you can see the catalytic site and the peripheral site. So when you design dual binding site inhibitors, they are going to encompass the entire gauge of the enzyme. They will act totally on the catalytic and the peripheral site. Bistacarine is an example. So that was then similarly we have the sister enzyme of acetylcholinesterase, that is the butyryl trace, which is also involved in various activities like esterase activity, aryl acyl amidase, and peptidase activity. Role of acetylcholinesterase in cholinergic neurotransmission is well defined, but the real physiological function of butyrylcholinesterase is still unknown. Now, the peptidase activity of butyrylcholinesterase, it has a function in the development and progression of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so peptidase activity है जो butyrylcholinesterase की, it has a function in the development and progression of Alzheimer's disease. Why? Because it produces beta amyloid protein and helps its diffusion to the beta amyloid plaques. Then there are, this is the processes of Alzheimer's disease leading to cell death and possible therapeutic interventions. Just to sum up, case में cell death हो जाती है Alzheimer's disease में. So when there is excitotoxicity, then NMDA receptor antagonist can be used. If the destruction is due to oxidation or free radical scavenging, then antioxidants can be used. If tau hyperphosphorylation is there, tau related agents can be used. Then in Alzheimer's disease, inflammation is also there. In that case, anti-inflammatory agents are used. Then if there is apoptosis or cell death, anti-apoptic agents like caspase inhibitors can be used. Okay, and regarding the amyloid precursor protein, I told you it is cut by the beta secretase at different positions and gamma secretase. So you can use base inhibitors or gamma secretase inhibitors, and immunotherapy can be used if plaques are formed, and number of other agents are there. Examples of base inhibitors are, see, curcumin, haldi, which we are using, the turmeric. It's such a good antidote for Alzheimer's because it's a base inhibitor also. Bioactive compounds such as flavonoids and curcumins, then gamma modulators like tretinoin, it modulates the gamma secretase to produce less of the toxic form of the amyloid beta. Non-toxic form is amyloid beta 40. So this gamma secretase, it modulates to produce less of the toxic form of amyloid beta and more of the non-toxic shorter length peptide. Then antifibrillizing agents targets the fibrillary aggregates of amyloid beta protein and maintain the non-fibrillary form of amyloid beta. Tramiprosate is an example. The number of other agents which are used in immunotherapy in the treatment of this disease and are under clinical trials by the various companies. Then, as I told you, PPARs, peroxisome proliferate activated receptors, they belong to the family of hormonal receptors. Okay. Now, these PPARs, they exhibit a wide range of activities to positively influence the pathology of Alzheimer's disease because the secretion of pro-inflammatory genes, and as I told you, they enhance the mitochondrial function. तो इसलिए हम इस और agonist they have done. Can somebody please switch off their mic? We are hearing somebody talking. Please, it's a request from my side. I cannot talk otherwise. Somebody's mic is on, either from the organization or the participants. Please, you're requested to mute your.
Ma'am, we are muted, ma'am. Sorry for
Okay.
the disturbance.
So they have a direct involvement in the processing of the amyloid beta peptide. Then you have newer targets for Alzheimer's, protein phosphatase 2. The tau hyperphosphorylation, as I told you, is a central event in the development of Alzheimer's disease. Protein phosphatase 2A, PP2A, is the predominant phosphatase in the eukaryotic cells. And in Alzheimer's disease patients, the activity of PP2A is decreased. So decreased PP2A activity is suggested to be when the activity of PP2A is decreased, there is formation of NFT and neurodegeneration. NFT is neurofibrillary tangles. So that means if we use protein phosphatase agonists, then they can be used as treatment for Alzheimer's. They cause dephosphorylation of the tau proteins. Examples, cantharidin, nodularine, etc. Then we also talked about DYKRIA inhibitors. This enzyme, it simply catalyzes the autophosphorylation on serine, threonine, and tyrosine residues. Okay, and this enzyme is overexpressed in the Alzheimer disease. अगर Alzheimer में ये overexpress हो रही है, that means you need to use inhibitors of DYRKIA. In the earliest, so it may play a critical role in the early onset of tau pathology of this disease. Okay. Examples, tricyclic pyrimidines, acridines, etc. Then caspase's enzymes, as I told you, leptin हमने बात की थी पहले. Caspase enzymes, they also represent an important link between the amyloid plaques and the neurofibrillary tangles. This caspase activation, it causes the cleavage of tau. Okay, that means we need this enzyme because it's causing cleavage of tau and results in the formation of abnormal filaments like tangles and results in cell death. So we have to inhibit this enzyme. So caspase inhibitors, mainly caspase 3 inhibitors, block the caspase-induced cleavage of tau and they prevent the damage. These are some of the examples in process in research. Then this is quite common, NMDA receptor antagonists. NMDA is responsible for long-term potentiation, which is involved in learning and memory. Oxidation of the enzyme glutamine synthetase in the brain of the people with enzymes, it leads to overproduction of the glutamine. Overactivation of the NMDA receptors and overproduction of the glutamate, it leads to excitotoxicity, leading to neuronal dysfunction and death. This leads to treatment of moderate to severe Alzheimer's disease, mementamine, neramexine, etc. Okay, this was something about the medical treatment of Alzheimer's disease, but we have to do something on our own level also. Before we switch over to the medical treatment, we can try some antioxidants also because they may protect against the development of dementia. Number of free radicals are produced in Alzheimer's. Oxidation भी एक ऐसा पैरामीटर है which leads to the development of dementia, cognitive decline, etc. Free radicals, they have to be scavenged for all the problems. They may even slow down the progression of the dementia. For example, vitamin A. All of us, especially to our parents, grandparents, आजकल तो young लोगों को भी मैं बोलती you should take vitamins. And vitamin E, it is combined with donepezil. Whenever somebody is taking donepezil or Aricept, if vitamin E is given along with it, it is seen to slow the mental decline in people with the Alzheimer's disease. Okay, another antioxidant, coenzyme Q10. It may help the brain to get more oxygen. So, and adding certain things to our diet, it can really help us. It can act as a prophylactic to prevent the disease. The skins of dark berries, blueberries, blackberries, they provide valuable antioxidants. Eating a half cup of frozen blueberries daily makes the antioxidants in the berries skin more easily absorbed. So the antioxidant, we should eat a lot of fruits which give you antioxidants, Then vitamins. Why we have to take supplements? Why we have to take vitamins? Biotin, B1, B2, B6, B12, folic acid. These are the vitamins which we have to, which should be taken along with the drugs, or otherwise. No scientific evidence has shown a direct benefit of these vitamins on Alzheimer, but B12 and folic acids, they lower the level of amino acid in the blood, which is often high in the Alzheimer's disease patient. तो इसका तो कोई नुकसान भी नहीं है. Why can't we take supplements? Why can't we take multivitamins? Shots of vitamin B12, it may work better than pills. And even it has been found in the elderly people, they call levels of zinc are low. So if they take zinc regularly, it may help to improve their memory. As I told you, in Alzheimer's disease, inflammation is also there. So sometimes anti-inflammatory agents or NSAIDs are also given, but currently no evidences are available. No significant benefit has been observed with prednisolone, diclofenac, nimesulide, etc., in slowing down the rate of decline in Alzheimer's disease. The disease modifying effect of anti-inflammatory agents is plausible, but it is not supported by currently available clinical trial data. So they देते हैं उसको, but not very effective. Then tau related therapy के लिए phosphorylation of tau proteins, it is dependent on intracellular kinases such as glycogen synthase kinase. So lithium and valproic acid, they have been shown to reduce the hypophosphorylation of the tau proteins by inhibiting the GSK3 beta in the cell culture. So GSK3 beta inhibitors are also used in various neurodegeneration disease. So that was about a little bit about the technical part, although I say that there is no cure for Alzheimer's disease, but researchers are making encouraging advances in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease, both in the medication and the non-drug approaches. In silico and conventional research is also being done to design the therapeutic agents for the treatment of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, जैसे कि Alzheimer's disease, acetylcholinesterase inhibitors are given as a symptomatic therapy. And then novel targets can be developed by drug designing approaches. So non-medical approaches are also suitable before you switch over to the medical approaches. Now means एकदम से ऐसा नहीं है कि if somebody starts forgetting things or is lost, usko somebody is at home, if it's going to the refrigerator, you are going to go keep something, you forget, go somewhere. It doesn't mean that you have Alzheimer's. It can be due to preoccupations also. But if the frequency is becoming, it is increasing day by day. So you should first manage it by the non-medical treatment. How we can manage the symptoms. Okay, because 70 to 90% of the people with Alzheimer's disease eventually develop behavioral symptoms like sleeplessness, wandering and pacing, aggression. They are always agitated. For no reason they are angry. They will remain depressed, hallucinations. So experts suggest that general coping strategies for managing difficult behaviors. See, sir, it is such a common problem. It can happen with any one of us. We all have got grandparents, elderly people in our family. So don't lose your patience. You should first, if at all, anybody in the family or as a citizen, if you see somebody facing this properly, you should counsel them not to just lose your patience. You should stay calm and be understanding. Be patient and flexible, especially at home. The young blood, young children, especially the teenagers, if the grandparents say something, they will straight away start shouting at them, no, कि मुझे ऐसा नहीं करना है. So you don't know that, what they are going through. Don't argue with them or try to convince them. Listen to their point of view. Acknowledge their requests and respond to them. Even if they are repeating anything 10 times, you answer them 10 times. The satisfaction which you will get, it's worth anything, because you will feel because we are pharmacists all over. ये हमारी social responsibility है. Try not to take these behaviors personally. Because it is the disease which is talking. It is not the person which is talking. He is helpless. We have all observed कि ज़्यादा हमारे grandparents, if they are elderly, 80-90 हो जाते हैं, they are confused. एक ही बात को you ask them कि आपने खाना खाया, he will say कि नहीं खाया और खाया. Anytime they will start go and taking their bath, और अगर तभी खाना खाया होगा and they will start saying कि ये तो मुझे खाना ही नहीं देते, I can't eat, है ना. Or we have all grandparents and they must long live. But if you really want that they should live nicely, jitni bhi unki age hai, as a pharmacist, it is our role to help them, because you should understand their psychology, be patient, acknowledge their requests, respond to them. Experts encourage, because there are counselors also, many experts also, they counsel the caregivers or the family members to try non-medical coping strategies first before starting with the medication. However, medical treatment is often available if the behavior has become too difficult to handle. Means अगर इतनी ज़्यादा agitation है, restlessness है कि they start jumping from the balconies और अपने आप को मारते हैं, they will start striking their head against the wall, तो आपको लगता है कि वो अपने आप को injure ना करें. In that case, the medical treatment is a must. Researchers continue to look at both non-medical and medical ways to help the caregivers. So that was about the general things how we have to manage the Alzheimer's disease symptoms at home before the medical treatment. Now, besides allopathic, we all know that these days herbals are really coming up. So apart from the synthetic drug, Alzheimer's disease can also be prevented by natural herbal drugs. This is regarded as complementary alternative medicine system, which is widely used due to lesser or fewer side effects. One example is ginkgo biloba, also maidenhair tree. It's taken in its original form or in the form of capsules, and Darrow's formulation is available in the market. In Salvia officinalis, common sage, or the Salvia lavandifolia, both are members of the mint family of plants, Lamiaceae. They may help. It's not certain. They may help because इनके side effects तो है नहीं. So you can always resort to these. May help brain function and memory in the Alzheimer's disease patients. Then Galanthus. Galanthus is the main anti-Alzheimer constituent. It is available in the form of a capsule. Also, Bacopa monare, Brahmi, used in Ayurvedic or Indian medicine to improve the brain function and the learning. One study found that 300 milligrams per day for 12 weeks seems to improve cognition in the healthy people. Curcuma longa, turmeric. See how important is haldi. हमारे सिस्टम में तो इंडियन सिस्टम में इन everything, all the curries, all the vegetables, we are using curcumin. अब कोविड के बाद भी almost everybody says कि मिल्क में आप हल्दी डाल के पियो. So tremendous because it's anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, anti-Alzheimer. So इतने ज़्यादा इसके benefits हैं, and it inhibits the beta amyloid plaque formation. I think for those of you who are not taking haldi in milk, we must start from today, because if we really want to increase your memory, so it's my to say sincere suggestion to you कि ये आपको जरूर लेना चाहिए. It will really cover so many of your health problems, because it also lowers the oxidative damage and damage to neuronal synapse. It can be used as a food and can be consumed with honey or hot water also. Don't take it in excess because it has anticoagulant action also. See, हमारे जो Indian system में, since the times of Napoleon, whatever we are using today, that is science. वो उसके पीछे कोई ना कोई लॉजिक था. आप लोग देखो, हल्दी है, कोई अब इतनी देर से हम लोग यूज कर रहे हैं इसको, है ना. तो इसमें बिकॉज उनको लगता था पुराने बुजुर्गों को कि इट इज रियली गोइंग टू हेल्प अस, इसकी हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम्स से ओवरकम करेंगे. देयर आर सो मेनी अदर क्विनीन अल्कलॉइड्स and so many other things which we know, but there is a scientific logic. I would just like to share one thing with you. The other day I was just sharing it with my friends. हम लोग सब लोग शराद करते हैं नवरात्रों के बाद. आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ यू आर फेमिलियर विद दिस. तो उसमें ज्यादातर क्या होता है, जब श्राद्ध करते हैं तो घर के लोग कहेंगे सबसे बात कि आज पूरी बननी चाहिए, और जबकि इन द प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो एवरीबडी इज सो डाइट कॉन्शियस, दे डोंट वांट टू ईट पूरीज. तो वी वर थिंकिंग कि इतना क्या है ऐसा पूरी में कि बड़े जैसे जब भी कोई अच्छा ओकेजन होता है या कुछ auspicious, or the other way around, if you want to celebrate in a positive or a negative way, you always say कि पूरी बनानी चाहिए. We were thinking कि इसके पीछे क्या scientific logic होता है. This is me and my friend, we were talking, you know. तो हमने सोचा कि ये because you know puri is made at a very high temperature in a oil, so probably it kills all the microorganisms, you know. तो इतने हाई टेम्परेचर पे ये लॉजिक रहा होगा हमारे पुराने बुजुर्गों का, इसीलिए वो जो है वो उसको पूरी बनाते थे, यू नो. सो से दीज आर, अगर आप सोच के देखो, कुछ ना कुछ जो भी हमारे ट्रेडिशंस हैं, घर में हम कुछ ना कुछ करते हैं, तो बिहाइंड दैट इफ यू जस्ट सिट एंड cudgel your minds, you will see that Alzheimer has gone away and you have gone into a new era of science, and you will be able to find a scientific reason for that. So similarly, that's how important haldi is. Then Centella asiatica, gotu kola, it acts as an Alzheimer drug because it acts by reducing the oxidative stress. Then Hupersia serrata, huperzine A, it may improve memory in both the vascular and Alzheimer's dementia. Then Melissa officinalis, lemon balm, it Alzheimer's disease patients who took a standardized extract of lemon balm orally daily for 4 months appear to have reduced agitation and Alzheimer's disease. Then Rosemarinus officinalis, rosemary. Conventionally, the herbal medical practitioner have used rosemary to enhance remembrance or memory, alleviate muscular pain and spasm, fuel growth of new hair, and also prop up the blood circulation and nervous system. See how important these herbs are. Then we have got various Chinese herbs in Alzheimer's disease also. Then Lycoris radiata. So then you have Macleia cordata. Sorry, just excuse me, please. Optis chinensis, and many more. I have just listed a few. Then you have, sorry, I'm taking a lot of your time. I'll just quickly wind up. Nutritional and dietary supplements. Now, phosphatidylserine. This shows promise in several studies. Phosphatidylserine is a substance which occurs naturally in the brain. It may raise levels of the brain chemicals that deal with memory according to several studies. It may work best in people with mild symptoms, and it may lose its effect after about 16 weeks. This phosphatidylserine, it should not be taken with blood thinners like warfarin. It should be cautiously used with ginkgo or any other plant supplement. In both the cases, risk of bleeding may occur. Phosphatidylserine may cause sleeplessness or insomnia in some people. So that was about um, the medicated and the non-medicated lifestyle changes which I have discussed with you today. And but the message of today's talk is that we, including me, we should have lifestyle changes if we really want to increase our memory. Okay, as I told you, berries, they really help to increase the memories. They tau hyperphosphorylation को break down करते हैं. They prevent the formation of neurofibrillary tangles. So this is in our hands. You should consume the fruits which contain antioxidants like blueberries, tomatoes, bell peppers, pomegranate. Our parents also, especially the children, parents are after the children to consume fruits, especially the colored fruit. Why do you want to take medicines if you can do with fruits? So you should consume berries. These days, fresh berries are also available, like cherries, blueberries. You get frozen also, dried berries also. They should become a part of your diet if you really don't want Alzheimer to get into your life. Tomatoes, eat lot of salads, pomegranates, apples, and these are the bell peppers. Bell peppers, these days we call them as exotic vegetables. Green, the red peppers, broccolis. So these are the lifestyle changes which will help you get rid of the Alzheimer's. You should eat the foods that are rich in vitamin B and calcium, the green vegetables, the nuts, the almonds, the walnuts. And why do we say कि हमें क्यों ड्राई फ्रूट्स खाते हैं? हर रोज बादाम भिगोए जाते हैं और सबको रोज 5 बादाम. I have seen in families, they are given to the children and everyone. Then why? Because parents really want. इसके पीछे ये scientific reason है. You have to be healthy. आप बहुत सारे डिजीजेस से बच जाओगे, स्पेशली द अल्जाइमर्स. यू शुड ईट हाई फाइबर फूड्स लाइक बीन्स, ओट्स, etc. So these are the lifestyle changes which you should do. This is the carry home message which you should take from today's. If I can, I mean, even an iota of this talk can affect your lifestyle. That will be my contribution as a pharmacist to the society, that I was able to convey my message. That is why I did not go into too much of the pathophysiology, the technological aspects, and the drugs. Okay, we should just see how we can change our lifestyle and manage Alzheimer and understand the responsibility towards our society. It's not like that if you are anybody from your family is suffering from Alzheimer, you have to help them. It could be your neighbor, it could be somebody on the roadside, but you have to help them as a responsible. So don't smoke. Drink 6 to 8 glasses of water every day. Eat healthy oils like olive oil. Avoid refined foods like white bread, pasta, etc. And exercise regularly. These lifestyle changes, we know that everything कि ऐसा करना चाहिए, पर हम करने नहीं करते. अगर इस training program का and my talks purpose will be fulfilled if we all can adopt this lifestyle changes. There are few famous people with Alzheimer's disease, famous football player and coach Tom Fears, then 40th president of USA Ronald Reagan, then Bill Quackenbush, professional hockey player, Betty Schwartz, Olympic gold medal winner in track events. All these have suffered from Alzheimer's and they have been able to come out of this due to their lifestyle changes. So one of, I would say, according to, not I would say, according to Rita Brown, one of the key to happiness is a bad memory. So, and Mark Twain says, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. So that's the message of today's talk. I would just like to, before I wind up, I would just like to share a small video which you might like on Alzheimer's. कि किस तरह से it's a video about it's a video about old couple, husband and wife, where the wife is an Alzheimer patient. Oh, sorry, just a minute. It's just taking time to open. Uh, so the wife is an Alzheimer patient, and the husband wants to help her wife. Is it visible? Is it no? Just a minute. Just is it visible, the video? And
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I need to share it again. I think just please give me a minute. दोबारा share कर, new share. Kindly excuse me for a minute, please.
Share होगी. Hello, ma'am. I am audible to you. I think ma'am is muted. Please unmute the ma'am. It's a kindly request to the host. Please unmute the ma'am. It's okay. Now it is unmuted.
I think my talk was too much, so they muted me. I was not
No,
able
no, ma'am. No, no, no.
myself.
It's itself muted. Okay.
I'm just
Ma'am,
saying.
please share the screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing it again.
Okay, okay. Now it is visible. Kindly start it from the start.
Yeah, and see.
Okay.
Welcome. Just a minute. So it's a very touching video. You know, that's the kind of patience you need to deal an Alzheimer disease patient, and the effort you have to do to make them your own. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much for your patient hearing, and thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your nice presentation. It's very nice and clearly describing all the aspects of Alzheimer, how the worldwide this disease affecting the patients or a people, you can say, and how their family members take care of that type of people or patients. So it's very difficult for them at that time to take care of them.
Exactly.
Thank you, ma'am, for also
It's my
addressing
pleasure.
our participants on women empowerment. It's also now various evils are overcome from the worldwide, and now the women are in various panels, as you say in your description. And this is a very nice presentation overall. Thank you, ma'am, for addressing the participants, ma'am.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. From on the behalf of our institutions, both the institutions, I would honor your respect in a form of certificate. Kindly accept it, ma'am. It's on
My
the screen.
pleasure. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time, ma'am.
My pleasure. It's an honor for me as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, dear participants, we will meet in the next session of 5-day symposium at 2 o'clock. Thank you. Bye-bye to all.
May I leave?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.